It is the 2nd of March today, and as you can see, I'm actually in bed right now. It's literally about to hit midnight, and it's also Ramadan, so I kept my first fast today. To be fair, it went well up until the point of me opening my fast, where I don't know, my stomach just started to hurt. I'm not sure why. I mean, it's fine now. I'm not in any kind of pain or anything, but I would say for the first like half an hour or so, once I opened my fast, I was in a bit of pain. I don't know what's going on. Nowadays my stomach is just sensitive to everything. It could be that I didn't really eat much for Sehri, or it could be that I didn't have anything to eat during the day and that's why my stomach was a bit upset. I don't know. I had so much water, right, that I woke up like 3 times in the morning to go to the toilet. I was very much looking forward to Ramadan, so much so that yesterday I thought that we were fasting because Saudi actually started fasting from yesterday, the 1st of March. So I thought everybody was fasting from the same day, and I woke up. I actually prayed the Hajjud, and I thought to myself that I'll pray the Hajjud and then I'll get up to do Sehri. I wondered to myself why the whole house was quiet and like why nobody else had woken up. And then I realised after I went into my dad's room and asked him, have you had Sehri? Because I've not heard you get up. My dad was like, well, it's not today, we're fasting from tomorrow. And I was like, oh, are you sure? And my dad was like, yeah. He just went back to sleep and ignored me whilst I was stood next to their bedroom door. And I was like, oh, for God's sake. It had to happen to me, right? It was just a bit of a funny one. So yeah, I got a bit overexcited for Ramadan this year, and I thought I was fasting a day earlier, but we start fasting with Morocco because it's like the closest Islamic country to us. It's the first fast today and 29 to go. My battery's flashing as well. I'm sure it's gonna die any second now. I don't really have much to catch you up on, to be fair, but Tuesday is going to be an interesting one. I have a call booked in with one of our ads clients. I might get you in on some of that call where I actually report back on the sales front from the ads that we've been running for them. I did actually look through the stats this evening. It was quite interesting. So yeah, I'll catch up with you probably on Tuesday now.
1 week later.
It is currently 9:47 a.m. As you can tell, I've literally like just rolled out of bed. It is coming close to 10 o'clock, so I need to start getting ready to do some work. But I've not picked up my camera in a long time. Definitely been like around 10 days. I think the last day I picked up my camera was around the 3rd of March, and it's now the 12th of March. So some explaining to do. The last time we spoke, I mentioned that I was about to hop onto a meeting with this client that I'm working with. I didn't actually get to vlog that meeting. It ran on for much longer than what I thought it was going to run on for. It was only supposed to be an hour meeting, but we just were discussing so many things. We went completely over the time. This particular client, they like to ask a lot of questions and they like to know what's going on in terms of every step that we're taking, and I think that comes from the fact that they've worked with an agency before who didn't get them the results that they were looking for, so they're a little bit cautious now in terms of working with us. But yeah, I think maybe 2-hour meeting probably wasn't necessary. A lot of the things I was kind of like, I can discuss this with you through email, or it's probably something we wouldn't discuss at this stage, but it is what it is. It ran on for much longer than it should have anyway. That's the reason why I didn't end up vlogging it. I was about to switch on my camera, I kind of forgot, and then when I remembered, I was like, oh, this meeting is going to drag on. It's probably best that I don't vlog it. So I didn't. But yeah, just an update from that meeting. We were running TikTok and Meta ads for them, and now we've decided to only run Meta ads because they were performing much better than the TikTok ones. So from the sales that were generated from the Meta ads, we actually made that money back, but we made a loss on TikTok, and it's probably because we were running ads to the TikTok shop rather than to their website. But the reason why we didn't run ads to the website is because they seem to have an issue when it comes to accessing any kind of pixel data. I don't know why this is. Tried to look into it. TikTok support are probably the worst social media support that's out there. So if anyone works for TikTok and is watching this, get your shit together. We tried to resolve the issue with the account. Basically, through the events manager on TikTok Ads Manager, that is, through the Events Manager tab, you should be able to access all pixel data. The pixel is essentially what links the website to TikTok, but we weren't able to access that data. There's something to do with account connection issues. They have basically like 3 other ad manager accounts, all which have the same login information, like email address is the same, phone number is the same. I just don't know how anybody gets themselves into that kind of pickle, but they have. Oh, looking a bit bright here. 1 second. I just adjusted the lighting because the sun is actually reflecting in through the window and it was washing me out. So we tried to resolve the issue and we asked them to allow us access to those accounts because those accounts have been suspended. I don't know how an ad account gets suspended if it's not even being used. That's really strange. These are things I've never seen before, but I think the more challenging things that you see, the better, because it just makes you better at your job. Obviously, it was never my job to deal with those account issues, but I got involved because I thought out of like a goodwill gesture, I'll help them deal with the account issues before we move forward. And also, obviously, I needed to access the pixel data through Events Manager, so I thought I would get involved and help them resolve the issue, but we just couldn't. It got to a point where I couldn't actually do anything because it's not linked to my own personal details, like my email address, phone number. That's all stuff that they had to deal with. So even though I raised a ticket with TikTok support, I said that, well, in terms of moving forward, you will have to deal with it because it's all connected to your account. Yeah, so that's why we weren't running ads to the website. There was just no point because we wouldn't have had that information that we would have had like through Meta, for example, to know exactly like where the purchases were coming from, just all the kind of necessary information that you need. Obviously the pixel is there to provide you with that data, so if you can't access it, there's no point of really running ads to the website because you're just going to be spending money, yes, potentially getting sales, but not getting much data back from the ads that you're running, which is obviously very important for optimization. So we made the decision to actually run ads to the TikTok shop instead because they said that one of their business goals was to actually build the TikTok shop up and actually get more sales through there and build their credibility on TikTok. So we did that. But I think because of the type of product it is, it just didn't really work very well. They're not necessarily a cheap brand, they're more of a premium brand in terms of like what it is that they sell. So we had to question whether their brand or the products that we were trying to sell were actually suitable to be on the TikTok shop, because we'd have to like provide massive discounts. Are you really willing to do that? Provide so many discounts just to get in sales, because then you kind of have to continue with that. TikTok shop is more known for like cheaper products, more low ticket products, and their product in the grand scheme of things is not low ticket for the kind of product that it is, especially in comparison to like competitor brands. Even though there are competitor brands on the TikTok shop, a lot of them are like influencer endorsed brands. They're kind of in a completely different league of their own, and so it was best that we just stopped, because obviously making a loss on the TikTok shop is not great, and that could have only just lasted for 1 or 2 months and we may have made a profit after that. But because obviously they're a startup brand and they're wanting to retain as much money as they possibly can, they just weren't willing to continue testing out the TikTok shop as a platform for ads. So we've completely stopped the TikTok shop ads and we're now focusing on Meta ads. So this is now the 2nd month of us running the ads for Meta, and it's going well. Some of the things that we've learned through this time is the conversions are quite slow, and it's because we are running conversion ads directly to purchase, so we're not getting as many conversions as possible to get us out of the learning phase. So currently we are still stuck in the learning phase. Now my job is obviously to get us out of the learning phase, and through the testing I've now realised that actually trying to get conversions for purchases is probably not the best strategy at this moment in time, because we have a limited budget of around £2,000 a month. So initially their ad spend budget altogether in total was £2,000 a month, so it was £1,000 on TikTok, £1,000 on Meta, but now we're putting all of that ad spend onto Meta to get us potentially making a profit, not just breaking even. So that's kind of the aim moving forward for this month, and then potentially we want to be making like double the volume of sales. So there's a lot of testing that's currently going on, and we are working on creating new ads, which I've been working on for the last few days. I have an editor on board who's actually editing some of the ads. One of the things I said I wanted to do was start retargeting ads on their account, but we weren't able to do that from the previous month because they didn't have a big enough audience. From obviously running ads, we've now got video views, we've got more website traffic, we've got actual more customers. In fact, the customer base base has increased quite a lot, which is great. In comparison to where they were before we started to where they are now, is a drastic difference. The previous ads agency who was working on their account only got them 4 sales, which is crazy to think that they were actually managing the ads for 3 months in 2024, and we've taken over, or I should say I've taken over because I'm the one who's doing all the work, and we got them 67 sales in the first month. It's not exactly groundbreaking, but it's a massive difference in terms of where they were before. It kind of exceeded my expectations, to be fair. So this is something that I mentioned to them in the meeting. They were like, yeah, it exceeded our expectations because we weren't even expecting to make those kind of numbers, but they were quite happy with the way that the first month had gone. But obviously in my mind I was thinking we could have done better. We could have potentially got them more profit, but obviously we were kind of limited in terms of testing because we were limited with the budget, and also we were limited with the audience because we were only running cold audience ads, so we didn't have necessarily enough data to create lookalike audiences. It was very much broad targeting that we were relying on, so the kind of people that we were targeting weren't exactly high intent buyers. But now going into month 2 we have much more data to work with, which means we should be getting better results. So those previous ads are still running now, but I've cut back the ad spend whilst we're working on these new ads, and those ads will be going live today, inshallah. That's the idea anyway. The ads are pretty much created now. We're just having like last minute changes made to them by the editor, but all the retargeting ads are pretty much done and the cold audience ads are all done, so we are kind of ready to go. I just have to obviously create the ad structure on Meta, make the ads go live, and then we'll be ready to roll. Fingers crossed this month we actually get them into profit rather than just breaking even. But the kind of person that I am, I'm quite harsh on myself. I'll never be like, well done Notion, you did well. I'll just be like, okay, what can I do to improve? Because we could have done better. Like every time I do something I'm like, okay Notion, you could have done better. So that's kind of what I did say to them. I was like, it's a good start but we can do better for next time, and that's what we're going to aim to do. I am like closely monitoring these ads pretty much on a regular basis, like every day, to see how they're performing. The one thing that I realized from running these ads already for a month is we kept making changes to the previous ads, and so that's probably another reason why they didn't come out of the learning phase. But saying that, we weren't making enough purchases anyway to get it out of the learning phase, because you have to have around 50 conversions per week to come out of the learning phase. That was never going to happen, especially with the budget that we were working with. So now I know we're going to adjust the ads and actually go for add to carts rather than purchases, and that should increase our conversions and get us out of the learning phase quicker, because the actual add to carts and the completed purchases, there's a drastic difference. Like you'll have about, let's just say 40 add to carts, and from that you'll have like 10 to 15 people who actually purchase. So that's the reason why we have to run retargeting ads, to actually bring those people back into the buying cycle and get them to purchase. That's it from the ads front. Bear in mind that it's been around 2 years now since I've even run any e-commerce ads. So that's why I was quite surprised at the results that we got in that first month. I was like, wow, I've actually surprised myself, because since then, obviously things have changed quite a lot on Meta. Like the ad structures are different now, and you know, the algorithm's different now. But I kind of still stuck to the same structure, that obviously their content has to be good. UGC is usually what performs well, and obviously making sure we have all the right call to actions and just all the basic elements that you need for a good ad. I just made sure that we had all of that, and then I also did some research into ad structures. I did actually watch a lot of Ben Heath's videos. If any of you guys run ads on Meta, then you'll probably have come across him. He's huge on YouTube and he's like a Facebook ads expert, so I got a lot of advice from his videos. But then I also used ChatGPT to kind of come up with a strategy. There's a lot of things that I learnt myself which actually Ben Heath doesn't even mention, like the conversions thing, and when it comes to purchases and coming out of the learning phase and everything else. He doesn't really talk much about that. I'm guessing he obviously doesn't mention certain things because he basically includes all of that information in his mentoring program, which makes sense, but at the same time it's kind of like I needed to know these things really, and I didn't. But it's fine, you know, you kind of live and you learn. I learned that through ChatGPT actually, so we're gonna try that this month and see if that gets us better results. Not gonna lie, my face is looking kind of swollen. I know it's just because I literally woke up, like rolled out of bed and then put my camera on to talk to you, and obviously an update on how Ramadan's been going, because it is now, is it the 10th fast? No, it's the 11th fast today, because we started fasting on the 11th fast? It's either the 10th or the 11th fast today, basically. Ramadan is flying. It's crazy to think that we are almost halfway through the fast already. Not gonna lie, I am feeling a little bit weak. I've been kind of struggling to wake up in the mornings. I've been praying Tarawih basically before suhoor, and I think that's what's making me more tired. I know that like I need to come up with a better structure for Ramadan, I really do. It's just one of them ones like you can come up with a structure but you just don't know how you're gonna feel in the moment. So I kind of did have this plan to create like a Ramadan working schedule, but it just didn't go to plan, and every day I've been feeling different, so I kind of just have to wing it. I think I will come up with a schedule because we still have somewhat of a way to go, so it's definitely worth it. I do want to make the most of this time, even just like doing more dhikr and just praying more and just doing more that I possibly can to make the most of this month, because this month comes around only once a year, and who knows if I'm even going to be alive next year to witness Ramadan. I've not been as active on social media. I've not really been as active on many platforms really, because I've been trying to make as much use of this time as possible to try and get as much reward as possible and just bring myself closer to my religion, or bring myself closer to God in this time. And I do think it's working, to be fair. I definitely feel a change in myself. You know, they say that the only way to tell if your fasting has been accepted is if you feel a change from how you were before Ramadan to how you are after. It's only been like 10 days, but I already feel there's a massive change in me, which alhamdulillah I'm really grateful for. And I just hope that I continue on this trajectory and I become more closer to my deen, and I just become the best version of a Muslim as I can possibly be, and as a person, of course. So these are the kind of things that I'm focused on really. I'm not trying to overexert myself in terms of work. I say that, and then every now and then I get this burst of energy. I can't explain it. People who fast, they'll be able to explain it. It's like you might be feeling really, really tired throughout the day, but then all of a sudden you get this burst of energy and it's like, oh, it's crazy, I know. I've literally just adjusted that lighting on my camera because it was getting very bright. So that's pretty much an update on everything. Ramadan is going well. Just feeling very tired, I will say, from lack of sleep obviously, and just lack of energy really from fasting. I do feel myself losing weight, so I want to get myself back into the gym, which I plan to do today. After iftar I plan to go to the gym and try and get myself back onto the workouts. I think working out whilst I'm fasting is going to be very difficult, so I'm not going to overdo it by trying to work out whilst I'm fasting. I'll just do it after iftar. I also need to make more of an effort to eat more at suhoor and also iftar, because I'm going to end up losing a lot of weight. I can already feel that I'm losing weight, which is kind of a concern because I'm already very small and petite. I was actually at like the perfect weight just before Ramadan. I'm trying to maintain that, but I feel like because of my genetics, like everyone in our family, we just drop weight so quickly. From tomorrow I'll make an effort to actually wake up earlier and give myself more time to eat during suhoor, and I'll probably have to go food shopping as well today and get more foods that I can eat. Right now I'm kind of struggling with what to eat at suhoor. I feel like the only thing there really is eggs and bread. That's all I eat, and I just make sure that I have like 3 to 4 eggs, but then it's like I don't know if that's enough protein during the day. I kind of need something else to keep me going, like a yogurt or something. And also I've not been having my usual protein smoothies, which I do really want to have. So the plan is to go food shopping today and just get everything that I need. I'll probably just go to Aldi because honestly Aldi have the best stuff. Like I said, I'm very worried that I'm going to end up losing a lot of weight during Ramadan. Last year I did. I ended up becoming like a stick, and I don't want that same thing to happen this year. Alhamdulillah, I'm in very good shape, so I just want to maintain that. Ramadan really does tire you out. It's definitely one of the busiest months in terms of just so much is going on. On top of that, my grandma hasn't been well, so that's been quite a lot to deal with. Another reason why I've not really been sleeping too well, but I don't really want to go into that, to be fair. I'm trying to keep my patience during fasting. Thinking about that kind of stuff is not going to help me with my patience. I do actually have a meeting now with someone to kind of take over with the email marketing for this brand, as well as working on their ads. I'm taking over with the email marketing, so that's something again that I've been working on my own, because it's kind of become quite a lot. We've got like workflows that we're working on, as well as individual email campaigns. I'm trying to find someone who can support with that, so I have a meeting with someone actually in like half an hour's time to see if they can take over with that. If they can, it will be a massive massive load off of my back. It'll give me time to kind of focus more on my own things, because even things like this, you know, like vlogging and stuff, I've had less of a chance to do because I've just been bogged down with so much work. So I'm trying to take off as much of this work from my shoulders as I possibly can, so that I can free up my time and focus on the things that I want to do in order for me to grow my business and grow as a person as well. Also, because of everything else that's been happening, I've not even journaled. In fact, I'm towards the end of my journal now. I need to get a new one. So I think what I'm going to do is, because I do have a bit of time now, I think I'm going to journal now, and then today when I do go out, I'll just buy a new one, because I do miss it. Do I feel like it's necessary? Probably not, but I do quite like getting my thoughts down on paper and just taking that time out for myself. So I do want to continue with it, but I need a new journal because we are completely out of paper in this one. So when I go food shopping to the supermarket, I'll get a new journal. I do need to continue reading this book because I still have quite a way to go. How much do I have left? Just over half, I would say. And then I plan to order another one. I think after this one, I'm going to order the Atomic Habits one. I've not read that one, and everyone's telling me to get that one, so it's on every person's bookshelf. So it must be a good one. I do want to start getting back into reading again. I just haven't had the time. I've just been focused on other things. I can't keep making that excuse that I don't have time. I have to make time. And now, hopefully, with things being kind of loaded off my shoulders, I'll be able to make more time to do the things that I want to do. So yeah, that's it really. Nothing else to report on. Rambled on as much as I possibly can. Sorry about that.
لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وإن تبدوا ما في.
We have heard your commandments and we are obedient.
I made these dates to open my fast with because I cannot eat just like plain dates on their own for some reason. Like, I have to have a chocolate date because I just don't like dates in general, like on their own. I think it's the texture of them. I tried to make it kind of healthy, so I opened it up from the inside, removed the seed and put an almond in there along with some peanut butter, dipped it in chocolate. This is milk chocolate, it's not dark chocolate. Obviously if I had used dark chocolate it would have been healthier, and it's got like desiccated coconut on top. Basically it tastes like a Snickers. I've not had a sweet treat today, and this is basically my sweet treat. I've already opened my fast, by the way. I just wanted to have another one of these because I'm a fat cow. That is just seriously good stuff. If you're wondering what is going on over here, basically I've got my vest on, I've got leggings on, and I'm in my cardigan because I'm just bloody cold. So I wanted to update you on today. On the last few days, to be fair, I've not picked up the camera. Things are starting to kind of pick up now with the business, which is alhamdulillah so good. So I've had like a lot of meetings this week. This week has been busy. Busier than I think it's ever really been. Let me just give you the rundown because let's just say yesterday things were a little bit up in the air. So basically this account that I'm working on in terms of ad management, what happened was we had seen like a decline in results, and the reason for that was because I had decreased the ad spend on the account whilst we were working on up-to-date ads. So instead of keeping the ads that were running just going and burning through the ad spend, which is already fairly minimal, I thought let me decrease the ad spend for now until we can get the ads up and running. That took longer than expected because it's me that's pretty much doing majority of the work in terms of the ads, but then also we have a video editor who is not the easiest to work with, let's just say. We kind of have to explain things to him like 3 times for him to get it right. But even then, he only edited 1 video, and really we should be at a point where I have a team of people who are actually creating the content, and all I have to do is create the strategy, create the campaign structure, just publish the ads. But I have to do everything really at this point. It was obviously trying to find the time because it's Ramadan as well. It's been hard, like I've been really tired. Even when I've been trying to work, I've been falling asleep. So that's definitely caused a little bit of a delay in terms of getting things done on time, but managed to get there, right? What happened was I decided to do some testing with the current ad spend. So instead of trying to go for purchases to get us out of the learning phase quicker, I thought we would go for add to bag conversions, but it didn't work in terms of getting purchases. Like we had 47 add to bags, but then 1 sale, which is crazy. Definitely not what we were expecting. So I had to just completely switch off those ads because they weren't working, change them over onto sale ads. Obviously I had to change the structure and stuff around as well. Had to focus on which ads were actually performing and everything else. Anyway, without going into too much detail and boring you, from what we were initially getting, there was a drastic decline in sales, and of course the client had picked up on it. So I was almost bombarded on a meeting which wasn't to do with the ads. So on the 17th of March we had a meeting, and the meeting was actually supposed to be to discuss this giveaway that they wanted to do for email marketing. But when I got onto the call, they started asking me about the ads. They were like, are we seeing less sales? Like, what's happening? So I started trying to explain to them what I was doing, but my mistake was trying to explain to someone who doesn't really understand why we do testing and how we run ads. I shouldn't have done it, basically. I shouldn't have sat there trying to explain to them how and why we do the things we do, because it's like hiring a plumber to fix my leaky toilet and then standing there asking him, what did you do to fix it? And he's like, this pipe over here, that pipe over there. I basically joined them together, but then you can't just join them together. You have to kind of switch the pipes out, see which size is better. You know, like there's so much different things that you wouldn't consider yourself, and so having to explain it to somebody is like, what is the point of me explaining to you? You're not going to understand. And that's basically what happened. Was I tried to explain it to them in a way that they would understand, but that didn't happen. It just caused more confusion, which made things worse, right? So we all got off that call more confused than before.
What?
They were confused. I was confused because they were asking me questions that I wasn't prepared for. And also I was trying not to get into the complexities of the ads too much, so I didn't really know how to answer that without getting into the complexities of the ads. We all got off the call worried and anxious and confused, I would say. We had to have another meeting today to rectify that, and thankfully we did. So now we're all on the same page. Everything's running as it has to, and now we're just kind of waiting to see the sales pick back up, which I think they will. I've seen that they have already. So yeah, one good thing is they've given the green light in terms of increasing the ad spend. So we've gone from like £2,000 budget on Meta to now £3,000 ad spend, which is really good. Ideally, like a £3,000 ad spend is what you would consider like a good small budget for a startup business. The fact that we've managed to get them to agree to that is really good, because it gets us out of the learning phase quicker. We get to do more testing. We get to double down on the ads that are actually working. It makes life a lot easier. Working with smaller budgets is never an easy thing, because you're trying to do as much as you possibly can to maximize it. And there are things you can do to maximize it, but then if you're wanting to test, you're very limited. And that was probably my mistake to begin with, was using some of the ad spend to test. We were kind of back to square one because it didn't work. But at least I've tested it and I know it doesn't work. If I didn't test it, I wouldn't have known it wasn't going to work. So yeah, we're back to the same strategy pretty much. That, and starting retargeting ads from this month, which have already generated a sale. Even though they've been running for like a couple of days now, we're starting to see that pick up. So that's good news, to be fair. So that's the ad side of things. I've been posting a little bit more on LinkedIn, and off of the back of my posts, I'm getting inquiries, which is quite good. These meetings that I've had over the last day or so, I have one tomorrow as well. I think they're all off the back of posts, which is really good. Like, people are finding me through people that they're connected with who have engaged with my posts. So I'm slowly starting to get back into it. To be fair, my goal for this month wasn't to take on any more clients. My goal was really to focus on the social media side of things, because I just wanted to take it a little bit slow this month, with it being Ramadan. Like, going all in and being really busy also, I feel like is not a good thing. We have to make the most of this time as we possibly can, because it only comes around once a year, and it's such a blessed time in terms of reward and me trying to improve myself as a person and trying to improve myself as a Muslim. That's a journey that I've been on as well for the past year or so. That's why, like, I think of these meetings that I've had were kind of unexpected. I wasn't posting thinking that like these posts were going to get me inquiries. It's always the posts that you just never think about that get you traction, which is so strange. The posts that you think about for such a long time and you just like spend an hour writing end up flopping. It's been quite a positive week so far, and we're only on Tuesday, so hopefully the rest of the week goes like this. My aim moving forward is to continue with editing the vlogs that I have left. We do still have a long way to go in terms of catching up with the editing. By the end of April, because I'm going to be like in a new chapter of my life. I don't want to be lugging that around with me. This is a fresh start. I want to focus on what I'm doing in terms of moving forward, not reflecting on what my life was like back then, you know, in 2024, because a lot of this footage is from 2024, not even from this year. So yeah, I want to just try and get through as quickly as I possibly can. I don't know how many people are actually interested in seeing this journey, but I'm doing it more for myself than anybody else. This YouTube journey for me has always been a way for me to document my process and my journey, my experience of rebuilding this agency. I remember editing August's vlog and I got emotional watching back the footage. I saw that I was in a lot of pain at the time when I filmed those vlogs, and now I'm not in that same position. It's just sometimes like it makes you realize how grateful you are for the little things, and I'm definitely grateful. Like, alhamdulillah for everything, alhamdulillah for coming out the other side stronger, more resilient. And I do think that the only reason I've managed to make it through and got to where I am right now is because of my Lord, is because of the fact that I'm praying. Prayer has been one of the biggest transformations in my life. Like, I feel my du'as are being accepted now, and yes, it might have taken a while, but I'm just grateful that I know that Allah's listening to me. I felt the power of my du'as before. Last year I did as well, and that's what kept me going. Like, you just need that one miracle to happen in your life to just strengthen your belief in God again. I would be nothing without Islam. I'd be nothing without Allah. I'd be nothing without prayer. Like, it means everything to me. I will never miss a prayer for anything, and I'm just so grateful that it's a major part of my life. Through praying consistently, I've just seen a major improvement in everything, in every aspect of my life. Yeah, I'm not a billionaire, I'm not even a millionaire, I'm nowhere close to that, I'm not where I want to be in life, but I'm slowly starting to pick myself back up and put myself back together after a very tough year last year, which is not an easy thing to do, but I'm doing it, and I think I'm getting that strength from God. I'm not getting it from anywhere else, and I'm just so grateful. So this is a sign to you that if you're going through a difficult time, just start praying. Genuinely, it will change your life. Nothing at all in this world would ever compare to it. And now I understand why in Islam praying is compulsory, because it's actually good for you, and you don't realize until you actually feel the effects of praying yourself. Is that everything that I've updated you on? Oh yeah, an update on email side of things. So I've actually hired help, which is one of the reasons why I have a little bit of time to vlog now. Today's just been a very busy day, back-to-back meetings. Then I've been like onboarding this person who I literally just onboarded from that meeting. I was like, I need someone to do the email marketing, show me if you can do it or not, and she showed me that she had the skill set, she had the knowledge. So I was like, okay, well, there's no point in me wasting time because we have an email campaign that needs to go out in less than 2 days. Are you happy to take on the work? She was like, yeah, and I was like, okay, you're hired. I mean, to be fair, I'm not the one who's going to be paying her, but still, I made the choice to hire her because it's a massive support for me. I'm learning to let go of things that are not the most important. It's very hard for me because I'm such a control freak. I like doing everything myself because I want everything to be done perfectly. I also am quite good at managing. I have done that before in previous jobs, so all I have to do is just wait on them to get the job done and just approve it, and that should really be as simple as that. She will potentially be getting used across like any other clients that we take on if she's good, which I have a feeling she will be. So yeah, I'm quite optimistic about the future now after today. It's been a really productive day, and on top of that, can you believe I actually managed to cook as well for iftar? I made chicken curry, like literally in less than an hour I made it, and of course it tasted great because I'm a great cook. So I'm just looking at my phone right now because it is almost 9 o'clock in the evening. I still need to shower and pray Isha, get myself ready for bed, and do around 2 hours of editing in bed. From about 10 till 12, I'll do some editing, go to sleep for around 3 hours, wake up at 3 to pray. I do like to pray in the early hours of the morning. Then it's Sahri time, and then the day starts again. I had a shower a couple of hours ago, but didn't bother to sort my hair out, and I am actually going to go to Boots in about 15-20 minutes to get, well, I need pads to be honest. I think I'm going to be starting my period either today or tomorrow, so I just want to be prepared for that. So I thought I would style my hair with you on camera because this is not really something that I tend to show. So this is from Curlsmith. This is actually a conditioner. I basically mixed some of my Cantu curl cream with whatever was left of the conditioner. It works on my hair because as you can see I have very textured hair. It just helps to smooth the hair basically. I've already put it into the mid, length and ends of my hair. I'm just gonna try it because I can't really be walking out with wet hair. Let's put on my trusty Babyliss hairdryer. By the way, it's really loud. So I blow dry my hair, but I'm now just gonna like recurl some of the front bits, especially around here where my fringe is. I don't have the energy to be honest, but I'll just do these bits, these front bits. So I've got GHD curler, the thin plate, a very old straightener by the way. So I kind of just wrap my hair in the curler and I basically curl away from my face, as you can see. And then I get a curl like that, but then I just kind of like loosen it with my fingers, and that has now blended in. The fringe I don't mind too much, it's just this front bit always gets quite bulky. So I'm just gonna quickly curl these. This isn't gonna take me long, literally like 2 minutes and then I'll be done. With this I curl it away from my face, this side, just because I feel like the curls frame my face better. Again, quickly go over some of these strands because they look a bit dry and scraggly from using the hairdryer on them. Let's do that one as well. This will be the last strand because I genuinely do not have the energy to do any more. I just want to basically redefine some of the curls, especially the shorter layers, because they do tend to like bunch up quite a bit. Okay, that looks better. I think we're done. I think I have used this one before. Tresemme Beautiful Strength, up to 99% less hair on your brush. Grow Long Serum. Just rub it between my hands. This does smell really, really nice. I just kind of brush the curls out with my fingers, like this. And then same thing on the other side. But because I have more hair on this side, I have to put more on this side. Put a little bit more on the ends. And then basically the last step that I do is, because I have quite a lot of flyaways at the top here, I just get a bit of this. This is all, by the way, I didn't get this recently. I am boycotting L'Oreal products. I don't think there's much left in this, so I'm just going to spray whatever's left. And then use my hand to smooth down. Yeah, I'm done. I think you can see from my eyes how tired I am. This eye especially is actually hurting. It's quite red. But anyway, it's almost 4:30, so I need to get going because I don't want to be out for too long. But I do want to soak up some of the sun and the vitamin D, because I think that's why my energy is just lagging, because I don't have much vitamin D in me. Now that the sun's out, I should definitely make use of it. So catch up with you in a bit.